Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dimitri. So today we're gonna do some parsing and convert to methods in C#. So let's start by creating a variable. I'm going to create a string variable. I'm gonna call this best date. So my best date is going to be January 12, 2020, for example. All right. So if I console right line this best date, I'm going to see that the compiler reads this as a string, which is okay, but I really want this to be shown as a date. So that's why we're gonna parse this. So let's just create a different string. I'm gonna call this string best date 2, and I'm going to call this January 14th 2012. All right, right here I'm going to create a variable. Let's call this parse1, and here is where I'm going to applying the datetime dot parse. So this is gonna be my method that is going to transform my best date 2 into a date. So that's the whole idea, right? So I'm going to console right line this parse1. All right, so if I run this and I take a look at it, I'll see that my second line right here is actually a date instead of a string. So if I want to get rid of this 12 a.m., what I can do is I can add a different method here. So I'm going to call this a short string. So you can have a to short date string, to long date string. You have multiple options. We're gonna use to short date string. And don't forget the parentheses because this is a method. And if I run this, I'll be able to see the date without the 12 a.m. So this is going to be my short date. All right, perfect. So far so good. All right, for another example, what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to copy this code, going to paste it here, and instead of saying January 14, I'm going to say let's say the 20th of November. So in this case I'm showing day and then month. So in this case I was showing month and day. So in order to prove that this works as well, that no matter what's the order, I'm going to run this program. But I'm going to create a different variable here. Let's just call this parse2, and then we're gonna change this, and I want to console right line parse2. All right, so if I run this, I'll see that both of those lines of code are okay. All right, so perfect. You can see that January and November, they're all the same, okay? So no matter what's the order, the method's still working. All right, let's just close this. All right, now, next thing I want to show you guys is the ConvertTo method. So I'm going to create a string here, and I'm gonna call it best date 4. And I'm basically going to do the same. So let's just call this 2013, for example. Then I'm going to create a variable called ConvertTo1. All right, so here I'm going to use my method convert to date, because I want to convert this string to a date. So it's basically the same scenario, but now we're using a different method. So I'm going to convert my best date 4, and then I'm going to console right line this ConvertTo. All right, and if I run this, it should work as well. So let's see if it's working. Let's give it a try. And it's basically working perfect. So I can add it to short date string method as well to get rid of this 12 a.m. So right here we have the same option. Sorry, to short. Okay, to short date string. Perfect. So we have that option as well. So if we run that one, we'll see that we have no time. So the time is gone. All right, perfect. All right, I'm gonna show you the last example. So I'm going to have a double. Let's call this double 1. And then I'm going to have my double 1 to be this number. And then I'm going to create a decimal. So I'm going to have this as a decimal 1. And then I'm going to have 10.2, for example. All right, so what if I want to add these two numbers? So right here, when you have a decimal, you gotta add an M. So this way the compiler knows that you're working with decimals instead of doubles or integers. So you know that is a good practice to input the M on decimals. All right, so next step, I want to actually add these two numbers. So if I happen to create another variable, let's just call this decimal total, and I'm going to say D1 plus decimal 1. So I'm going to have an option here that says, hey, this cannot be applied to operands of type double and decimal. So basically you have to convert this decimal to double or the double to decimal in order to make this addition possible. So there's a couple of ways. You could just do it like right straight up from the console write line method. So you're going to say, I want to convert to decimal my D1. Okay, once it's converted, I'm going to add my decimal 1. So if you do this, let's just comment this out. Now there's no errors, right? There's not any lines here showing me that, oh, we cannot do this. So if we run this, you're going to see that this is working. So I have 10 plus 1, it's basically 11. Okay, so now this is working. So if I don't have this convert to decimal, I can just delete this. It's going to show me the same error. So if I happen to run this, it's going to show me that there's a build error. So I'm going to say no. And it's basically going to show me that the same error. So cannot be applied to operands of type double and decimal. So let's just move this real quick. So this is one option. The other option is to change the other variable so it can be read as 2 decimals. All right, so let's just try this again. Convert to decimal D1, and that's pretty much it. So let's just run this again real quick, and again it's working. So this is basically how you guys work with ConvertTo and Parse. I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you in the next video.